I have video going. I have everything going. Everything's gonna be so good. Fuck. What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the What's Good Games podcast, your source for video game news, commentary, analysis, and funny stuff every Friday. If this is your first show or your 236th show with us, there are two very different paths I'd like you to take. If this is your first show, please turn this off and go to one of the many, again, you have 235 other episodes to choose from. I would say choose any of those because they will be a much better listening experience for you. But if you are somebody who's been listening for a long time and you kind of know what's going on, then by all means, please stick around. And so, yeah, this 236 episode, this is for you, friends who have been here for not necessarily all 235, but for, a decent chunk of that at any point in time. I am your clearly rambling host, Kristine Steimer. And if you're watching at youtube.com/whatsgoodgames, you will notice that I am by myself. Or if you just noticed that no one else is talking because you're smart, you'll be like, something's amiss here. And something is indeed amiss, but I'll get to that in a minute. In the meantime, please enjoy the Steimer Soliloquy, which I believe is what I'm dubbing this episode. But do not expect 2 hours of this or even an hour of this. I'm going to ramble for as long as I see fit. And then I'm going to continue drinking this Shandong. Shandong, please come and sponsor us when we're back off of our hiatus. And speaking of hiatus, look at that, I segued myself. I'm such a brilliant host. So we had originally planned on having a few more episodes in the can before we went on our summer break hiatus. If you are completely, again, unaware, you stumbled here, you ignored my warning earlier about this being your first episode, and you're like, no, you know what, I'm going to stick around. God bless you. But what's happening is that both Andrea and Brittany, my two other lovely, charming, amazing, incredible businesswomen, ladies, hosts, friends, sometimes lovers. Not really. Again, that's a joke if you're new here. Sorry. But anyways, they are both very pregnant. And in fact, if you follow them on social, you will see a couple of different updates. So Brittany had a baby. She's a mama now. Andrea, very close. However, she is unfortunately back in the hospital with similar medical issues as she had about a month ago. Again, I'm not going to dive too much into it. You can go follow her on social media and kind of get a lot of updates there. But basically what's happening is instead of starting our hiatus in a couple of weeks, we're starting it right now. So starting with this is the last hurrah is me. And for that, I am eternally sorry. This is definitely not what we planned. I certainly never in my life was like, I want to be the host, nor did I want to be a host by myself for any length of time. But here we are. You make plans in life, and then sometimes the universe just laughs in your face. And this was one of those times. We had a great plan laid out. We knew what everything was. We knew what things were going to happen. And then, stuff just happens sometimes. Shit happens. And it's all about rolling with the punches, which is what we are currently doing. So again, you can expect us back in mid to late August, but we'll be keeping you abreast of all the situations on our social channels just in case anything changes. But, hopefully everything goes swimmingly and we have two healthy, beautiful little babies and everything's chill and we come back in mid-August and we're ready to talk about even more video games for the fall. I will give one final shout out to our May Patreon producers: Tyler Adams, Program Alice, Chewy's Godson, Excess Oddities, Justin Foshi, Punctified, Rob Leonard, Ferris Atia, I think I said that right, Marcus Ian Brown, Alex Regopoulos, and Trevor Starkey. I apologize if you are a new Patreon member. I did not pull those names, and I apologize if you left us a 5-star podcast review. Didn't pull that either. We are all flying by the seat of our pants right now, and we're all doing the best we can. If you are a Patreon member currently, please remember that, one, you will not be charged while we are on hiatus, so you don't need to do anything. We will be doing that on the back end. You can just chill out and enjoy your summer. And then, when we start coming back and those rewards start coming back, then we will reinstate it and, hopefully the world will be on its merry way. Another side note, hopefully you will see this post that Brittany's going to make, but we do have to cancel our weekend streams. We were going to originally do our Patreon streams on this Saturday. However, again, Andrea's in the hospital. Things are happening. And I'm all by my lonesome. So that will not be happening. We will figure out a way to make that up to you. So I guess just like, please hold. Your call is important to us. We will get back to you. This is why they should never let me host. Anyway, so because this is a video game podcast, and I don't want people to give us a 1-star review based on this episode, I wanted to talk a little bit to myself about Mass Effect 2. Because last week I was talking about Mass Effect 1. I had just finished it. Now I have imported my save over and I'm on the Mass Effect 2 hype train. So I remember really loving this game. However, I don't know if I remember loving it as much as I'm loving it again. Like Round 2, just as delightful, if not more delightful, than my original playthrough of Mass Effect 2. Now maybe that's just because it's been a long time and like there's something really fun about revisiting something that you love. However, I'll say usually I don't enjoy those with video games. There's one exception, and that is Quest for Glory, which is still my favorite game franchise of all time. But Mass Effect is very clearly edging some space on that shelf and is like, no, I'm here too. Because Mass Effect 2 is just, I already have like 14, 15 hours in it. And I just started it on the weekend. And I did actually go out and do other things this weekend as well. But there's just something so, again, comforting about it. I think I spoke about that last week with Mass Effect 1 and how good that was feeling. And then Mass Effect 2 just feels so much better. Number one, I'm not running into as many bugs, which is delightful. Nobody likes bugs. And so it's running just much more smoothly. And then two, I just forgot like how nice it is to really hang out with all of these characters. So I did also think it was kind of amusing to me that Mass Effect 2 is literally just all recruiting. Like there's really not a whole lot going on here other than you talking to like 17 people and doing favors for them. This is like the ultimate friend game. This is just a game about making friends. If you don't know how to make friends, you're not going to like this game. Or if you don't like people or aliens, you're not going to like this game. But I was going to say I like that, but I feel like that kind of is in contrast to a lot of my personality that I put out there on the internet. So that might be confusing for some of you. What I will say then is I really enjoy meeting fake people. I love meeting fake people in video games. They're delightful. I love them so much. They are infinitely easier for me to understand than people in real life because they have less dimension. It's so much nicer to just talk to somebody and then they have nothing to say to you for a while and you're like, sweet, chill. I can roll with this. There was something else I was going to talk to. Oh, the scanning planets minigame. Can we talk about how relaxing that is? And I'm sure, I felt that way definitely when it came out originally a million years ago, because I am old as dirt. But I just feel like they really got a good gameplay loop going, because I'm like, you have really intense story missions with these characters, and then you kind of can be like, you know what, I need to chill for a minute. You know what you can do? You can just scan planets. You can just scan the universe, see what's out there. Who cares? Nothing's going on here. And like just the feedback loop of it. Chef's kiss. That was a very tiny little chef's kiss. But man, I'm so delighted for this game. I'm excited mostly actually because now that I have Mass Effect 2 has its claws in me. We're rolling, we're vibing, we're having a great time. I am extremely curious to see how I get on with Mass Effect 3. So I feel like I've talked about this on the show before, but I will reiterate for you lovely people who are, for whatever reason, still listening to this very brief podcast. I played Mass Effect 1 originally about 8 times. I really, really loved it. I actually didn't change what I did that much, if I'm being honest with you, but I thought that I would. Each time I was like, no, I'm going to have a completely different Shepard. And then I always went Paragon. There was one time I did force myself to do a Renegade, and that's the one Renegade Shepard, rather, that I carried through to Mass Effect 2. I played Mass Effect 2 twice. Again, one with my Paragon and one with my Renegade. And then I played Mass Effect 3 once. I still remember my guttural, distraught nature at the ending of Mass Effect 3. And I'm just so curious to see if I will have that same reaction. Now, I know it's the whatever extended edition cut that happened. If you missed this all on the internet, by the way, good for you. Good for you for staying out of drama. It's really not healthy for you. It messes with your complexion, messes with your hair, messes with everything. It's not a fun time. Avoid stress. Avoid bad stress. Good stress like exercise. Please go do. It's good for you. My brain is a weird place. So anyways, if you are, again, unfamiliar with the drama, basically Mass Effect 3 came out. The ending was presented to people and they lost their minds. It was one of the very first iterations of people being angry on the internet for change. And they did. They got change. So they basically patched the ending. It's not wildly different. It just kind of expands a little bit further than the original one did. And so if you're playing this, I do believe you aren't going to see that original that just to me felt like you just kicked me off a cliff. That's really how it felt. I feel like you could probably find it on YouTube though. So if you're really that curious, you can go looking. But I just wonder, I really am curious to see like what my reaction will be, if I'll be really excited to go back and play it again, because I remember absolutely loving that game. Like thinking it was top tier, nothing could beat it. This is the most phenomenal thing in the entire universe up until the very, very end. Literally, that's how I felt. And I know I've talked with some friends before who are like, yeah, but to me, that doesn't ruin it, right? Like if 80, 90% of something is good and that 10% is bad, mathematically, this should work out. Everything should be fine. And mathematically, I'd agree with you. However, emotionally, I could not agree. Emotionally, I felt minorly traumatized. That's a stupid way of saying it, but I was so emotionally attached to the franchise in general, again, having played it so much and lived it so much and feeling like I was Shepard. And yes, you know what? I will die on the Caden Hill. I love Caden. I still love Caden. I don't care. Everyone, literally the only thing anybody has to say about him that's bad is that he's boring. Why is boring a bad thing? Also, I'm going to take a drink because I'm thirsty and there's no one else to carry the show but me. God. Wine is good. I'm glad I can drink. That's all I'm going to say. I've already lost my train of thought. Lord help me. Yes. Anyway, Caden's not boring. I don't think that's where I really left off. So, Mass Effect 3. Will I love it? Who knows? I can't wait for Brittany, who will be posting this, to listen and just shake her head and go, what happened? Why are you doing this? Just say we're going on hiatus and end the show. And I'll be like, you were correct. That would have been the right move. It really would have been. But here we are. Here we are. And then I also can't wait for Andrea to look back on this one day and just think of what a mistake it was to have ever partnered with me. I digress. So that's my weird little rant on Mass Effect, because again, I kind of forgot where I left off when I took a sip of the Shan Dawn. I'm not even drunk, but I can't speak, which probably means I should stop doing it. But I also feel slightly obligated to keep talking. And yet, here we are. I feel like I should probably shut up. Because I will just continue to talk about Mass Effect and not necessarily have anything new or interesting to say, because I just love this series so much. And I hope that the ending doesn't like kick me in the crotch as badly as it did the first go around. And it's really bothering me that I can't exactly remember where I left off in that conversation to myself. But that's just kind of how it goes sometimes, doesn't it? Isn't it? You know what? If you are listening to What's Good Games, if you have been here for a while, dear God, again, Lord help me if you are a brand new listener and you don't know what's going on. I'd say I would pray for you, but I don't really pray. So like, I'm not going to do that, but whatever. You're in my thoughts. But for those of you who've been around for a while, I just want to reiterate from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here. It means the world to us. I love having this show where I get to hang out with two of my favorite people in the world every single week. It actually, Brittany's been off for a little bit on her maternity leave, and it's been weird not talking to her. So I called her. You know what's crazy? I called her. We don't call people. People get offended when you call them. But I called her anyway, and thankfully she was happy to hear my voice, and we had a phone conversation, which again, I know absolutely nobody does these days, but I did, and it was great. And it was just nice to hear her voice and chat with her again, because again, we get to do this every week because of all of you. So thank you. And please come back and watch us again in August of 2021. That's still this year. Hopefully a lot of you will be vaccinated by then. Life will be slightly more normal. Quote unquote normal, whatever that will end up being, who can say. But until then, you are the lifeblood. Wow, I tried to say something sentimental and then my tongue just said no. But you are the lifeblood of us. Thank you again so much. And I'm Kristine Steimer, your world's shittiest podcast host. But you should go follow What's Good Games on social media. The easiest way for you to do that. So just go to what'sgoodgames.com. And all of them are there. You can just click on the web. It's super easy. So easy. Anybody can do it. Even you. And then that way you will be all up to date and ready to go whenever we do come back. And when Andrea and Brittany have some very cute little babies running around. Okay. That's going to do it for me. I'm going to stop talking now. I almost just said good night and good luck. And then I just did say it. So, there's got to be something better than this. Doesn't matter. Good night and good luck.